What is going on, everybody? We got another edition of Browns Thoughts here. So, some news for the Cleveland Browns on Monday, as Kenny Pickett, who was, I think, if my math or if my it's not even really math, if my chronological memory is correct, he was the first quarterback in this offseason that was brought in via trade from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who coincidentally was also waived by the Eagles. Fifth round pick, I think, was involved. So basically Kenny Pickett got hurt and was supposed to compete with Joe Flacco. Kenny Pickett gets hurt, doesn't take a live game snap at all. The Las Vegas Raiders have an injury to their backup quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, who's going to miss significant time. And the Raiders go to the Browns and basically say, hey, we see you guys have 4 quarterbacks on your roster. What will you take for Kenny Pickett? Browns say, hey, give us our 5th round pick back. And bam, there you go. So that's the big news. And the other piece of this now means that Dillon Gabriel is going to be QB2 for the Cleveland Browns heading into this season. I know a lot of people are going to be up in arms and basically saying Shedeur Sanders should be QB3 or should be higher than QB3 on this roster. Listen, I cannot believe some of the takes that have been coming out about Shedeur Sanders since Saturday's game against the Los Angeles Rams. Shedeur Sanders was awful in that game. And I think, and some people in the Cleveland media and some people covering the NFL who were actually wise to what's going on here, maybe understand that Shedeur, this is the first time in his football playing career that he has not been with his father. He's actually had to learn another playbook. He hasn't been gifted everything. He hasn't been spoon-fed everything. And that might have been part of the reason why he fell. He was very aloof and very disconnected from reality. And yes, he did have a talented run in college, but he had a pretty decent run in college where he was like a 70% passer, but he only went like 13 and 12. Listen, some people have made the comparison. A couple of my friends have made the comparison to Tim Tebow with the Tim Tebow hysteria. And I think that's a very accurate description of this, but I actually think that this is worse than Tebow mania. What is going on with Shedeur Sanders right now is people are losing sight, and actually I think they're losing intelligence over this guy. Because people were mad when a bunch of people who were protecting for Shedeur Sanders, who was the 3rd quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, got released. This is what happens when a quarterback who is QB3 comes into a game in the preseason. Some people were mad that he got pulled on that last drive. You know, Shedeur did not play well. His confidence was shot. So Kevin Stefanski, all he was doing was trying to protect the young quarterback from having his confidence shattered. Because clearly, any person who is a logical human being is not going to look at Kevin Stefanski was calling different plays. It's that Shedeur Sanders cannot read a defense, and he is not good, or he is not at least at the level of processing football the way that, an NFL player can. Tyler Huntley came in right after him, this bid in the NFL. Whether you want to believe it or not, he went to the Pro Bowl. That guy can process a defense, got in there, got them in the field goal range, won the game. That's why he went in for the 2-minute drill. Shedeur had bad drive after bad drive. I think he only threw 4 passes for like 2 of 4 or something like it was something weird for like 16 yards, and he got 5 sacks, a 23-yard sack. The guy is not ready to play. People are like, oh, Dillon Gabriel, the other rookie who was taken 2 rounds ahead of him, who everybody thinks is an inferior prospect. Dillon Gabriel, despite his height, I think he might have set a record for most Division I college starts because of the COVID rule. Dillon Gabriel, if he was at a normal QB height, he's a 1st or 2nd round pick. The guy was a Heisman Trophy finalist, Dillon Gabriel was. So I think people are losing complete sight of what's going on here with the Cleveland Browns. And listen, I'll be the first to tell you guys that the Cleveland Browns are a horrendously run organization, and it's very low-hanging fruit to blame the Browns. So listen, if you're going to blame anybody for just this ineptitude of what's been going on here with the Cleveland Browns, and this somewhat of a presentation that Shedeur Sanders is somehow, just because of his name. Blame Jimmy Haslam. He's the owner. He's the one who forced the pick. This isn't on Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski's the coach. Kevin Stefanski's going to put out guys and try to develop them. And had he thrown Shedeur Sanders out there and they don't win that game, it's going to shatter this guy's confidence. That's just the way the NFL works. And you can see clear as day when, and some people were still framing misses of what was going on with Shedeur when he was taking the sacks. Like, he had easy reads that were right open in front of him, and he just didn't see it. He just didn't see it. We literally went through the same thing as Browns fans with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson had been in the NFL and was getting paid an inordinate sum of money. People are trying to migrate to Shedeur Sanders as a pop culture type of thing here in the NFL. Like, he's going to revive, much like Tim Tebow. Some people are saying Black Tim Tebow. The only difference here, Tim Tebow won national championships. Tim Tebow was a first-round pick and he won a Heisman Trophy. Shedeur Sanders did none of that. He was 13-12 as a Division I starter. Like I said, he had some gaudy stats, but this is who he is, and he doesn't, like, in terms of processing and in terms of analyzing and breaking down film. It turned off a lot of GMs, and that's why he fell. And then also the added fact that his dad is Deion Sanders, and that circus going on was going to make this a problem. It's just convenient that the Cleveland Browns are the ones who got this, and now we're questioning Kevin Stefanski, a two-time coach of the year who had 4 quarterbacks in 2023 and took the Browns to the playoffs. Literally was in his first season there, one coach of the year during COVID when he had limited access to his players. We're going to blame that guy just because he had a 3-14 season because of a shit quarterback situation, and he couldn't. And the offense that was installed was not his offense. Why are you guys just so ready to crown Shedeur Sanders when he's a 5th-round pick, and this is what 5th-round picks have to do? If his name was any other person, and he wasn't the son of Deion Sanders, he would have been cut yesterday. He would have been waived yesterday. You can't play like that in the NFL. So before all you people say that the Browns are sabotaging this guy, they kept him on the roster, and they traded Kenny Pickett away. And they got, because Kenny Pickett, he's just a guy, and Shedeur has a little bit more upside. They see something in this guy, but he is not ready to play. Get the goggles off and stop trying to act like Shedeur Sanders is going to change the franchise tomorrow. The only way that I see Shedeur Sanders playing this season is if, by some miracle, that Joe Flacco gets hurt, or he is inept, and Dylan Gabriel gets hurt. This will be a wild take for you guys. I can't even believe I'm about to say this. I see Deshaun Watson playing before Shedeur Sanders. Because at least Deshaun Watson has been in the NFL, and they have a tie to him. I think that Deshaun Watson has a better chance of playing in the NFL this season than Shedeur Sanders does. This guy is not ready to start and play in an NFL game. He's not. He's not. Because how can you look that bad against 3rd and 4th string defensive people? How can you look that bad and taking 23-yard sacks if you're that talented? You have got to learn the game. He is not playing this year, in my opinion. And if you're the Cleveland Browns, I would honestly consider getting rid of this circus, because it's only going to get worse. Because the Browns are not going to win a lot of games this year. They're not a good football team. Joe Flacco, God bless him, is 40 years old. Dylan Gabriel will get in there, and I think Dylan Gabriel can actually move the football, but he's limited with his size. This team is playing for next year. So all that you're doing by keeping Shedeur Sanders on this roster is heightening the clamoring for him to get in the game. But can we stop with this whole, worship of him and acting like, hey, he is getting sabotaged? I saw so many people who are paid to talk about the NFL saying that he is sabotaged, or he is people who have been in the league Maybe they don't. Maybe they have their own agenda to play, and that's what sports media has become. But I could not believe some of the takes that were coming out of this. And now with Kenny Pickett out the door, this heightens more of the conspiracy theories out there that hey, somehow he's being sabotaged because now Dylan Gabriel's going to be starting. If you guys take away the mistakes that happened in that game against Philadelphia, which really weren't Dylan Gabriel's fault, Dylan Gabriel's looked like the better quarterback. He's looked like the better quarterback. He has. Shedeur did not look good in that spot. Him getting pulled out of the game was for his own well-being and his own mental state, so he doesn't get shattered. He is not an NFL quarterback right now, and who knows if he is. But the fact that Kevin Stefanski has had to answer questions and had to be questioned, and there be conspiracy theories about the Browns' handling of this is ridiculous. Jimmy Haslam forcing the pick in is one thing, and you can blame him for that. But you cannot tell me that the coaches are not trying to at least, get this guy along. We don't know what we're seeing in practice, but it's very clear that what they are seeing in practice is that this guy is closer to the bottom of the depth chart than the top of the depth chart. Stop thinking about who this guy's dad is. He has never been on a team where his dad wasn't directly involved in the coaching process. High school, college, whatever. That's what we're really seeing here. Nobody has talked about that until now. So please get your pom-poms, put them away, and let's just let this guy learn and sit on the bench and see if he can actually turn into something. But the more I think about this, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to start a game for the Cleveland Browns unless catastrophic injuries happen. That's really what this is going to look like. So I'm exhausted from this crap already. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for supporting the channel. We're going to have NFL team previews coming up here. Division previews coming up here. I'll probably start with the AFC North because that's actually a pretty easy one for me to narrow down. So we'll get into that further down the line. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.